from Dustin. Says, do you have any advice for someone who's new to SEO and trying to get their foot in the door?
Network.
Be humble. Network and be humble. There you go.
I think also if you're brand new, setting up your own website and just really pushing the limits will help you learn. But also, I wouldn't be afraid like going into an interview and saying that, right? Like, I'm new to the space, or I can appreciate when people say that they don't know something. But then if we bring them back for a second interview, they come back and they answer it, right? They went and they did the research or have other findings. So for me, I like to look for the desire to learn and grow just as much as I look for somebody that may have experience. But I'll also say, back to the cultural thing, I'll pick somebody that fits culturally and may need a little bit of coaching over somebody that doesn't fit culturally or has a poor attitude. I mean, that's kind of hard to figure out in an interview, and has a ton of experience, right? Because we need to make sure that they fit with our culture. Otherwise, it's just not going to be the greatest experience.
My advice would be, I mean, it's great to be a well-rounded SEO. You don't want to ignore that, but pick a specialty and get really good at it. There's a lot of opportunity for that now, and the pool of applicants becomes a lot smaller in your specific specialty when you know something really well that most SEOs don't.
Yeah, I really dislike it when I hear someone say, I know everything about SEO. I don't think that's possible anymore. We know a little bit of everything, but we specialize in something. But I'm also a firm believer in that you have to keep learning and consistently learn new things. Like Chris said, at one point I had 80 different websites live. Many car related, real estate related, everything. I tested it out, all kinds of things. And that's really how I learned. But the more you learn, the more you find what you really love doing and what you're good at.
Yeah, I'll concur with that. In fact, I just tweeted, I think it was yesterday. Curiosity has probably been my most used trait as an SEO. You have to stay curious and you have to, chase down the rabbit holes. Go on down. I mean, what's the threat of doing that? And I will also say most of the most successful SEOs that I know didn't start out even knowing what SEO was. They just it's something that they eventually found themselves in. My degree is in literature and history. How's that useful ever, by the way? So I'm a little mad at my university for allowing me to focus on that, but whatever. But I know so many other people like Ben Jariola out in California. He was a chemist. Nothing to do with SEO. I don't know what was everybody else's degree here, but I imagine it wasn't SEO, and most likely not in marketing.
Yeah, my BA was in psychology. My master's was in mental health. So, but you use all of that in marketing and reaching consumers. But look at Marie Haynes; she was a vet.
Yep, Dr. Marie Haynes, by the way. Make sure you say doctor. But I would also say, just as a bit of advice, if you are starting out, build your own website from the ground up. I would say do that and get it to rank for whatever it is you're trying to rank for. Make it a hobby website. I've built 4 or 5 hobby websites just for the fun of it, of building it from the ground up, from finding a host, buying the domain name, building using templates to build the site, ranking, creating content, creating associated Twitter accounts, etc. So I would say definitely make sure you're setting up your own personal sites just as testing grounds.
And you can sell them later.
It's true.
Also, another way is to do practice audits on sites that you think are cool. That's something I've recommended before. If you're not comfortable enough yet to actually get paid to do it, practice is a good way to try it out, and it's low stress.
I like that. I just did a video with work where we Samo and I like tore down a page from DoorDash. Now we got to look at some Cox Automotive pages for some cool video ideas. But we were basically like, why does this page work? Why do we think that it's working so well? Because it was worth an insane amount, basically, like driving tons of traffic, and that's so much fun. I wish more people would share stuff like that publicly, because I personally love to see different people's thought processes and like what they look at.
Yeah, Patrick, I'm part of my job is helping train some of those 40 plus analysts over in dealer.com. And one of the things they've really enjoyed a lot of was something I call forensic SEO. Um, in fact, it's in such demand. They want me to do this again, and essentially what it is me saying, okay, we found this problem. This is how we fix it, or we were seeing this result that we didn't like. How do we back our way into figuring out what the problem is, and then figuring out how to fix it, for that matter. So people, yeah, that sort of mind mapping slash process, I think is really important for people to see. I wish, like you, I wish more people were doing that sort of forensic SEO. Which that's where the panels came into play back in at the conferences. Those site clinic panels, when they weren't too brutal, were people using their mental processes to help sort of figure out someone else's problem and fix it for them, or help them fix it.